Okay, I think that's it. I think I've solved it this week. Probably not. I'll probably have to do this again in a moment. But I'm just going to assume that we've started. I'm just going to quickly open up the YouTube. Make sure that I'm actually playing. I can't seem to see my lesson. There we go. Roots, words, live. And we are live. Wow. Okay, that's amazing. Okay, so welcome back. I think this is, maybe week 3 that we've been doing word formation and how words are made. If you're in the house, if you're online live, please say hi. I expect to see hopefully some of the older students that have been coming to the classes for the last couple of weeks. We've got Gonca, we've got Adem, we've got Captain Ersen, Umut Tabak, Aynur Kosa, Tuğba Selam, Soydan Solmaz, Azime, Yaya, Minel, Neslihan, Eren, Fatih. Everybody, hello, and I'm hoping you're joining the lesson today. So where shall we begin? Actually, we're going to begin by having a very brief summary of what we've done over the last couple of lessons. If you haven't joined any of my lessons before, you can go to YouTube and just search the actual title for any past lessons that we've had if you feel that you've missed anything out. I expect everybody to participate today, of course. So if you're online, there you go. Thank you, Mr. Mehmet. Murat Özkan, welcome to the class. You too. Hope you have the best of lessons as well. So what we've learned so far in the last few weeks, well, we've learned that we can take a word that we don't know, and in order to understand that word, we can break that word down into 3 separate parts. Sometimes it's not that easy. Sometimes a word has more than one part, but those parts are basically 3 families, one of 3 families. And the first one is prefix, the root or stem that it attaches to. So they may show negation, direction, or have some other meaning. And we'll look at those very shortly. I've prepared some screens for you to actually screenshot. Then we have the root, and of course the root is what gives the word its basic meaning. Now, you're not going to find a root in every word. Some words just have stems. But about 50% of the English language is made up of Greek or Latin roots. And these Greek and Latin roots, just one root, can give you the meaning, the general meaning of a word in maybe 1,000 different words. And then last week we looked at suffixes. And suffixes, we're going to continue with suffixes today. Suffixes are used at the end of a word. And they're limited in meaning. They've got, they generally mean having the characteristic of, or, referring to something, or having a particular, pertaining to a particular idea, I should say. So get ready for some screenshots. This is what we've done so far in the lesson. If you have your telephone handy or if you're on your computer, feel free to screenshot this stuff. I've put all of the information that we've learned over the last couple of weeks onto screens for you. So in the first week, we looked at prefixes. I'm going to give you a couple of seconds to actually screenshot this. We saw that prefixes could be broken down into a number of families, the first of which is negation. I'm not going to go too much into this because we've spoken about this a lot in previous lessons, and I don't really want to spend so much time today. I'm going to quickly open up a laser pointer. So we've got dis here, and of course we have things like dislike, and dis, it's negative, but it has this idea of being away from something. An example we looked at was to not like and dislike. Not like something is very general, but if you dislike something, you generally stay away from that. Then we had on, we had im, which we use with adjectives that begin with P. We had in, which begin with adjectives with all the other sounds. We had ir, which began with adjectives with R. And we had il, which began with adjectives beginning with L. Jada, hello Jada, how are you? All of them are negative. Very good, Mr. Mehmet. Actually, it's up here. We'll go to the next one. Again, feel free to screenshot it. I think, yep, you can actually see it. That's amazing. So here we have ones, I think I might have to move out the way just slightly. So here we have, oh no, I don't. So here we have ones which show direction. And X means out of. The example I gave last week was export. Then we had im, which has two meanings. You know, we have the negative meaning, but it also means into. For example, in this word here, import. You know, it's not negative, it means into, to carry into. Then we had con and co, which both mean together or with. And we had the conversation or cooperate. Actually, I'll turn my camera off for a very short period of time so you can screenshot this stuff without my mush in it. Just turn it off. We'll turn it back on in a moment. Then we had re, which meant back, and we had reverse. Then we had pro, which meant forward, and we had product. Then we had d, which meant down, as in decrease. And then we had sub, meaning under, such as submarine. And then we had prefixes with other meanings. We had uni, which means one. The example was unicycle. Then we had bi, meaning two. The example we gave last week or the week before was bicycle. Then we have tri, meaning three. For example, tricycle. Then we had ex, meaning former, such as ex-girlfriend. Then we had for, meaning before, such as in foretell. Post, meaning after, postgraduate, and so on. And so on. I don't think my camera's actually turned off, but that's okay. That's okay. Then we had some roots. And again, feel free to screenshot this for future reference. Roots, as I said earlier, they give the meaning to the word. So we had portable, and porter means to carry. We have important, import, export. The meaning of port is the same in all of these words. In every word, it means to carry. Import, to carry into. Export, to carry out of. Then we had side, such as matricide, to kill your mother. Then we had dict, such as dictator, meaning say or tell. Then we had tract, which meant pull, such as attractive. Then we had spect, which meant to see or look, as in spectator. Then we had duck or duct, actually they're both possible, such as education, which meant to lead. And we had cred, which meant to believe. Vene and vent, which means to come or go. And then vis, which means to see or watch. And the battery on my computer's running out. Okay, so we also had, from last week's lesson, we saw some new roots. Man, which means hand. For example, manual, something which can be controlled by hand. We saw that rupt meant to break, as in interrupt, meaning to break into, or to break between two things, rather. Then we had voc, which meant to cool, such as vociferous. I had a problem with this word last week, you know. Then we had phone, which meant sound, such as phonetics. Then we had anim, which meant mind or spirit, such as animal. Then we had capit, such as decapitate, and here de, meaning down or off, away from, and decapitate means to cut someone's head off. Very nice word. Then we had Khan, which meant to flesh, and we started the lesson 3 weeks ago with reincarnation, actually. Re means back, in here means into, and then we've got the process suffix here, shin, which tells me this is a noun. So we have reincarnation, being born back into flesh. And then last week, we started our lesson by looking at suffixes and what suffixes do. Now, as I said, suffixes have a very limited meaning in terms of what they contribute to that word. However, they do tell us how to use that word. They tell us if that word is a noun, and here we've divided nouns into two things, noun people and noun things. If you joined last week's class, you may remember we can also use ER or OR for things. Then we had ist and shun for people, and then we had all of these. I'm not going through each one. We did it actually last week. And then we had ones for adjectives, I don't know, such as supportive, important, hopeful, jealous, capable, practical, specific, hopeless, maybe science, promotion, government, friendship, communism, community, togetherness, and maybe shortage here. And then we had verb forms, suffixes which tell us that the word is actually a verb, such as which we use with adjectives, so to shorten, to whiten, or to darken. Then we had ate, such as populate, to increase the number of. Then we had ify, specify, and we actually specify. And then we have I's, such as popularize, demonize, and the such. So that's what we've done so far. Today I thought it'd be useful to go over some of the pronunciation that we talked about last week where these suffixes are concerned, because they're not always pronounced the way they look. Meant, for example, isn't pronounced meant, it's pronounced munt. So we have this in language. In English, we have this sound, and we call this sound the schwa. In phonetics, it looks like this. And it's very similar. I was going to open up. It's very similar to... Let me just close that. It's very similar to the Turkish sound, but in Turkish that that noctus's I, the one without it, that sound is made in the throat, down here somewhere. In English, that sound is made from up here at the back of the mouth. It's very, very slight. So one that we have here, if I just quickly turn this off, can I use this? So I need to close the screen. We'll exit the screen because it will make it easier. I can't exit the screen at the moment. Why can't I exit? There we go. Okay. We'll turn the view off, the grid lines, because it just looks horrible. So down here I've put a number of schwas, and we're going to go through that sound slowly with each of these words. So we'll begin with this en here, this suffix. It's not high-ten or high-tin. It's pronounced high-tun, and we have that schwa sound just here. If we can bring that up, whoops, if we can bring that up here, just plonk it down there. There we go. We have that sound, high-tun, high-tun. And I'll put another one. We'll go to the next word. Forgetful, forgetful. It's not forgetful. Forgetful. If we want to emphasize the word, I suppose, I'm so forgetful. If we wanted to emphasize the adjective, then we would say fool. But when we're speaking, if we put forgetful into a sentence, as we're speaking, most of the time that pronunciation is going to sound a little bit like this. And I'm not going to bother, I'll just do that. So we're going to have a forgetful. He's such a forgetful man. If I put it into a sentence, he's such a forgetful man. Imperialism, imperialism. We don't really have that sound here. Imperialism. Cashier. Again, we don't have that sound here, but generally speaking, this one here, ear, I'll mark that for you. That's generally pronounced and if we look over here, counselor, we have that same sort of pronunciation. But here, because we note here, this N, I'll highlight for you, is actually silent. And we've got that sound again, actually. Let's go back up there. Columnist. It's columnist. Columnist. Can you hear it? Columnist. We've got heighten, forgetful. We've got cashier. Mehmet Murat Özkan, a schwa is a sound in English. This is a schwa. And basically, I often find a lot of students when they're listening to native speech, maybe films, or if they're talking to native speakers, a lot of the misunderstanding, in that sentence when a foreigner speaks to you, if there's something that you don't really understand, it's probably because we use this schwa sound. Schwa is just it's like an alphabet. It looks like this here. It's an upside down E in phonetics. And the sound is So here we've got high-tun. You hear that sound? High-tun. It's not high-ten, it's high-tun. Here, we don't say forgetful. We have this sound, which is the same sound. It's an sound. Actually, if I go down here to this one, if we can make that a little bit bigger, make that larger for you. And there we just put an equal sign. Whoops, why is it doing that? Okay, maybe I need to do that. So that sound there is like the Turkish not E, like this, the Turkish But as I said earlier, that sound in Turkish is made from the throat. In English, it's made from the back of the mouth. Just release a little bit of air from your lungs and just go, and that's the sound. Heighten, forgetful, columnist, columnist, we have that schwa. Here, aggravate, we actually have two of those sounds. It's not aggravate, it's aggravate. My computer's gone. Hold up a minute, I need to plug my computer in. Have a look at those other words. I'll take this off very quickly. Battery to my computer's just died, so I can't see. Okay. Sorry, I do apologise. Otherwise I won't be able to see the chats as we're doing this. I might have to turn it back on. So at the moment I'm actually unable to see you. I'm going to sort of try and click back in. My computer ran out of charge, unfortunately. So I'll run through this anyway, and hopefully by the next lesson I'll have this complete. Something's always going to happen with my lessons. I've always got some sort of technical problem, you know. Why can't I just have one day without a technical problem? Anyway, so hopefully I'll be able to come back to you shortly online. Vintage is another example. Vintage. Vintage. Actually, we don't have a schwa here. It's vintage. Then we have sensitize, and we don't have, maybe if I open it up on YouTube, on my telephone, I'll be able to see it. Let's try that. Then we have sensitize, and we don't have that sound. We don't have that sound there. What about this one here? Ambience. I'm going to quickly go to YouTube. Ambience. Ambience. We do actually have a very similar sound here. It's ambience. But it's more of an ambience. Then we have justification. Justification. And we have that sound there again. Shin. Justification. It's not just justification or justification. It's justification. Then we have desertification, and here we have two. We have one here, and we also have one here too. And I'm just going to quickly look upper intermediate lesson vocabulary roots live, and hopefully I'll be able to see you there. I'll turn my sound off. You're very welcome. Wow, there you go, technology. It is amazing at the end of the day. Hopefully my telephone won't turn off either. I'll have my computer up next lesson. So, where's all the chats gone? There we go. Okay, so I can see your chats. Welcome back. Hopefully you're still there whilst I'm flummering about with this technology. So we have desertification. This is slightly different though. That sound, those two dots, basically means that we have to lengthen that sound. So it's not desertification. We're going to lengthen it. I'll bring that up into view for you. It now becomes desert. We're giving it double the sound. Desertification. Desertification. Submissive doesn't have any. Establishment. Establishment has one over here. And here we can actually have two. Together. Got another one there. And we have another one here. Actually has three. We could say togetherness, but it's togetherness. 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 We have three of those sounds there. And in pharmacist, pharmacist. How many do you think's there, Mr. Mehmet? Pharmacist. We have one here as well. Pharmacist. What about this one here? Now this S is sometimes silent. Craftsmanship. Craftsmanship. Well, you know. We have, where's my schwa gone? We have the schwa here in mun. It's not craftsmanship. It's craftsmanship. Craftsmanship. And then we have manageable. Manage. Manage. And then we have a bull up here. And I'll put one up here. That's the general pronunciation of this suffix here, bull. We have speechless, we have none there. We've got one in counselor. The sound is up here, counselor. You know, and just a quick pointer for the new students. This OR, it's not pronounced like the Turkish teachesh, counselor. It's just pronounced There's no R. Counselor, teacher, photocopier. However, in American English, they may have a very small R sound. So in American English, it would be counselor, They have that sound. We have civic, we have personify. Where am I from, Mr. Alper? Every week I get asked this question. I grew up in London, but I come from an Irish family. I identify with my Irish family more than anything else. So I'm Irish, but I grew up in London, unfortunately. My family moved there before I was born. So we have this one here as well, personify. And we've got that sound just there above the E. It's not personify. We don't have an R sound. It's personify. Then we have glamorous. And with glamorous, actually, can we maybe... Oh, there we go. We can copy this like this. And I'm going to quickly paste one. Like this. Up. Okay. Well, I'm just going to use these ones here. I'll recycle them. Be easier, save time. So glamorous actually has two. We have glam, and then we have rus. Glamorous. Glamorous. Not glamour, not glamorous or glamorous. Glamorous. And down here we have nocturnal. 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 We have a long sound here. We're going to double that sound. And I'm going to use the last one here. I'll bring that up. And we also have it at the end of this sound. It's not nocturnal or nocturnal. It's nocturnal, nocturnal, nocturnal. And down here we have liability. And we have a small schwa there, liability. A very, very tiny one indeed. So let's get back to the lesson. That was just some of the points that we discussed last week. Slideshow. We'll start from current slide and we'll quickly move through there. So we're coming through the first practice. As I said before, if you're online, I want you to contribute. If you're watching, say hi. I know who's watching and who's not watching. So Alper, and I think we've got Mehmet so far. You may find this a little bit difficult. We have Jada. This is the third lesson in word parts. So you really need to have a bit of a knowledge of what we've done before, but we can go through this together. I'm going to go through it slowly. So we have this line again, and here we have these words. I'll quickly put my pointer back on. Heighten, forgetful, imperialism, cashier, columnist. Don't forget silent N, columnist, columnist. Aggravate, vintage, sensitize, ambience, justification, desertification, submissive, establishment, togetherness, togetherness is the correct pronunciation, pharmacist. Hi Jaffer, hi Tolga, how are you? Hi, hi, hi. Welcome aboard. I expect loads of contributions to the class today. You may find it a little bit difficult if you haven't attended before. Hey, Ainur. Okay, no problem. Desertification. Desertification. Vast areas of Earth are suffering from desertification. And I'll put it there in a sentence for you. Yeah, good man. I'm not too bad either. Hello, Ainus. I think I remember you from last lesson, actually. Where were we? So we have togetherness, pharmacist, that sound, pharmacist, craftsmanship, manageable or manageable. I generally have a schwa because my accent is a London accent. So it's manageable where I'm from, but manageable is correct too. We have speechless. Yeah. We have, you're welcome, Ainus. We have speechless. Again, we have that schwa sound here, speechless. It's not speechless, it's speechless. We have counselor. Don't forget that pronunciation in English. We don't have an R sound. In American English, they've got a very small R sound, so it's like counselor in American English, but in British English, it's just counselor. Then we have civic. Civic, this is a K sound, and this is a C sound, civic. Then we have personify, P, schwa, personify. Then we have glamorous, glamorous, nocturnal. Don't forget we're going to lengthen this one, nocturnal. And then we have liar here, we've got schwa, liability, liability, liability. So down here we have noun for people, we have noun for things, we have ADG, which means adjective, and here V for verb. So we're going to start with heighten. What do you think heighten is? Is heighten a noun used for people? Is heighten a noun used for things? Is heighten used for adjectives? Or is it used for verbs? We're looking at this suffix here, en. I'll give you a couple of seconds to think about that. Very good, Aynur. Yeah, it's a verb. And we know it's a verb because of this suffix here. Generally speaking, this suffix is used with adjectives. So we have height. What's his height is an adjective. We have heighten. It's also a noun, actually. What about forgetful? Forgetful. Noun person, noun thing, adjective, or verb. I'll give you a couple of seconds to think about that whilst I try to open up my computer. I think my computer's finally died on me. That's great. It's an adjective. Well done. Yep, well done. Very, very good, Torga. Very good, Muharrem. Welcome to the class, Muharrem. What about imperialism? This one here. Imperial. Very, very... Hey, Umit. Hey, how you doing, man? Nice to see you back. I like it when the old students come. We got GS Senjesh as well. Sorry, man, I missed you up there. Welcome as well. I'd still like to know what your name is, actually, because that's very difficult to... Yep, imperialism is a noun thing. Very good, Tolga. Well done. It's a noun thing. And as we said, as we saw last week, this ism is usually used for political ideas or belief systems. Communism, Buddhism, their beliefs. Catholicism. Then we just have Islam. That's slightly different, actually. What about cashier? Is cashier a noun person, a noun thing, an adjective? Noun thing. Ooh. Not noun thing. You're close. You're very, very close. Noun person. Yeah. Yep. Noun person. Well done, everybody. Hello, Senanur. Welcome to the class. Onur Çalış. Hello. Welcome. I think I've said hello to Jaffer. And we got Can Edek. Hello. We've got Mehmet Murat Ozgan, who was here before. Very, very good. Noun person. Okay, so what about columnist? Columnist. This one here. Noun person or noun thing? Noun person. Well done, Tolga. Right in there. It's a noun person, columnist. And then we have, well, ist. If we look up here, we have ism, which is the noun for the general belief. But for a person who has a belief system, for example, Buddhism, Buddhist, we use the ist form. Writer? Where's writer, Mr. Mehmet? I've got no idea where you are. Writer? I don't even think I have writer. A columnist? Yeah. Okay. A columnist is a writer for a newspaper, specifically. Someone who writes for a newspaper is called a columnist. Then aggravate, I'm sorry, bir tane benden olsun ne olacak? Aggravate, we know, is a verb because of this suffix here. So what about vintage? Slightly more difficult one. Is that a noun person, a noun thing? Could it be an adjective? Or is it a verb? Vintage, vintage, vintage. Not a verb, no. Not a verb. Ah, there we go, yep. It's actually, who said that? Senanur, well done. It's an adjective. No. Oh, hello, Mr. Kerem. How are you? It's actually an adjective. Then we have sensitize here. Sensitize. Is that a noun person, noun thing, an adjective, or a verb? I didn't quite understand your question. Sensitize is actually a verb. Well done, Onur. First one there. It's actually a verb. To sensitize something, to make something sensitive. Then what about ambience? Ambience. What about this one? Is that a noun? Is that an adjective? Yep, very good. GS. I'm just going to call you GS. There we go. It's a noun. Oh, no, sorry. Senanur. Wrong person. So, nice try, Mr. GS. That's correct, Miss Senna. Well done. It's a noun for things. So we have some things like science. Ambience is the atmosphere of a place. And when we say atmosphere, I don't mean like weather atmosphere. You know, the way in which people sort of relate with each other. So moving on to justification. Here, justification. Is that going to be a noun thing, noun person, an adjective, or a verb? Justification. Justification. It's a noun thing. Very good. Yep, well done. Yep, noun thing. Well done. GS, there you go. And well, I think we look at this one and we look at this one here. Desertification. I think we can guess what this one is. That's going to be a noun thing. What about submissive? Submissive. Again, is it an adjective, a verb, a noun for things, or a noun for people? See if I can put you up there, make it easier for me to see. Yeah, that's much easier. Okay. Submissive adjective. Well done, Mr. Onur. Yep. If it's used for adjectives primarily. Of course, there's always going to be exceptions to rule. Submissive, supportive, destructive were some of the examples we saw last week. If we go up to this one here, establishment. Establishment. Is that a noun for people or things? Is it an adjective? Or is it a verb? Establishment. I'll give you a couple of seconds to think about that whilst I have some water. Whoa. Okay, slowly. Yes, Mr. Kerem. Yes, anladık. The noun thing. I've got like 12 messages from you. Hello, Pelin. How are you? Yep, noun thing. Very good, Mr. Onur. Well done. So let's move on to togetherness. But not to. Together. Togetherness. Togetherness. Is that going to be noun, adjective, or verb? What do you think? I'll give you a couple of seconds to think about that. We have like a 15-second relay between broadcasting and you watching this. Togetherness, yep, very good. Straight in there, Mr. John. Not noun person. I think maybe you wrote that by mistake, Mr. Onur. Actually, it's a noun thing. The action of being together. Well done, Mr. Kerem. Hey, Mr. Umit. Well done, yeah. My English accent is so good. I wish I spoke with an Irish accent. I hate my English accent, but thank you. Thank you, Senanur. Yeah. So, pharmacist. Are we using it for people, for things? Is it an adjective or could it be a verb? What do you think? Pharmacist. Pharmacist. Noun person. Well done, Aisha. Well done, Jafar. Well done, John. Almost, Miss Senna. Not quite an adjective. Very good. Noun person, Jada. Well done, Mr. Onur. Nursach, welcome. Slow down, everybody. I've got new people, and I think we've got another Umut. Eşiyok. Eşimiyok. Okay. Welcome to the class. And we've got Gizem. Gizem Ozcan. Welcome to the class. Okay, so we're moving down to this one here. I love it when you participate. Really makes my day. You know, I don't really miss much during these times, but you know, I do miss teaching. Noun. I give you a little clue. Noun Not noun person, no. We have noun thing. Again, it's that very general idea, craftsmanship. Craftsmanship. Okay, let's move down to manageable. 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 Is that going to be for people, for things, for adjectives, or for verbs? That's for, not noun thing. I think maybe you're still up here actually. Manageable. Yeah, it's actually an adjective. Well done. Very good, everybody. Yep, well done. Good job. Then we have speechless. Speechless. So is that going to be a noun person, a noun thing, an adjective, or a verb? Which one? Speechless. Yep, well done. That's going to be an adjective. Being without speech. Then up here we have counselor. Is that going to be a noun person, a noun thing, an adjective, or a verb? Counselor. It's not a noun thing, no. Almost a noun person. Well done, Aisha. Aynur, sorry, I do apologize. Then here we have civic. Yep, well done, everybody. Good job. And here we have civic. It's got dark all of a sudden, huh? We have civic here. So is civic going to be, is civic going to be a noun person, thing, adjective, or a verb? Noun thing. Very good, Jada. Oh, no. Sorry, Kerim Ali. Adjective. Well done. Well done. Personify. We're nearly finished now. So personify. Personify. Is that a verb, a noun, an adjective?
What is beyond distributions? The answer to this question.
Personify is a verb. Well done. Well done, Ainus. Yeah, it's a verb. This is good. You're doing very, very well. It's going to get a lot more difficult than this a little bit later. It's going to get much, much more difficult. Then we have glamorous, another adjective. Another adjective. Benden olsun. Ne demek? Then we have nocturnal. Nocturnal. Adjective, verb, or noun. It's an adjective. Very good. Umut. Very, very good. Yep, Mr. Kerem, it's that adjective, nocturnal. An animal that sleeps of a night time. Then down here we have liability. Liability. That's going to be a noun thing. You've all done very, very well. So let's move on. Let's move on to the next one. The next practice set. We'll do a couple of these. Nope, noun thing there, Ainus. We'll start the practice set now. We probably won't have enough time to finish this before the break time. You're still all answering. I sometimes forget you're stuck 15 seconds in the past, but that's okay. Whoop. Okay. So let's move on to practice set 2. So what we need to do now, I'm going to move you out the way down there. It's only enough for you to say A, B, or C. The of the news could not be stressed enough. The of the news could not be stressed enough. Well, here we know we need to use a noun. We know that the noun is important. So which of these, A, B, or C, is the noun? Can says B. Pelin says B. Gizem says A. Umut says B. Jada says B. Ainur says A. You're very close. Actually, the majority of you were correct. The importance. If you remember from last week, for those of you who came or at the beginning of the lesson, we have this sound nts, like in science. And it's what we use for nouns. And we know that we need to use a noun here because we have the article, the. That's one clue. We have a second clue. If you look at this of structure, of the news, this structure is usually noun of noun would be the structure for that. giving us a clue that importance is actually the correct option. If we look at the suffix nt, don't forget the pronunciation, it's nt. It's important. Important. We know that this is an adjective. Of course, here it's not going to fit because we don't have an adjective, we don't have a noun here. We could say maybe the important news. Could not be stressed enough, the important news. But we know that we need to have a noun structure. Here, importantly, of course, important is used for adverbs. And adverbs are used to, we can use adverbs to modify verbs, to give information how the verb works, but we can also use it to talk about adjectives too. You know, we can talk about how adjectives happen. And here, we don't really have those two. So let's move to one more example and then we'll go for a break time and I'll turn some light on and maybe fix my computer. So we've got the detective, something, that the maid committed the robbery. The detective, that the maid committed the robbery. Do you think that could be theorized? Option A. Theoretician, option B. It's a mouthful, isn't it? And theoretic, option C. Another word for theoretic would be theoretical. They both have the same meaning. Theoretical is probably a little bit more common these days. This is a little bit older, as it were. So, Kerem, Onur, Abdus, welcome to the class. Abdus is saying A, and we've got Miss Gulcan, welcome to the class, and Irem, hello Irem. Hope you're all doing well. Let's have a look what the correct answer is. The detective theorized. So, why theorized? Well, if we look at this sentence, we've got a subject here. Let's see if I can turn my pen on. Pointer, pen, there we go. Here we've got the subject. Can you see that? Ooh, there you go. We've got the subject. Here we've got another subject. And we've got the conjunction. And I'm going to try and write this here. Conjunction looks like a 2-year-old's handwriting. So we've got the conjunction here. And we have a verb here, and of course we have the complement, or actually here, committed it, we have the object, which looks a little bit like that. God, I do apologize. So what's missing here? We've got two clauses, we can do that. We've got a subject, what's missing here? Every sentence in English needs to have a verb. We're missing a verb. There's no verb here. So, theoretician, this is actually a noun form. That's a noun, noun people. And here, with ik, we actually have an adjective suffix. So if we look at the structure, we know that we need a verb, and theorize is used for verbs, and this one here, de, is used to show the past form. I'm actually getting quite good at writing past simple. It's used to show the past form of the word. That too is also a suffix. It's a past suffix. Put a little dot there. So let's go to the next one. What time is it actually? We're going to go for a break time actually. Before I forget, last week I forgot to go for a break time. So I'll see you in about maybe 15 minutes. We'll be back here at 3 o'clock sharp. I'm going to turn some lights on. Hopefully that make a difference. So I don't know, I do look okay. It doesn't look too dark. It's very dark here. Have a quick break time and I'll see you afterwards. Have a good one.
Olduğun yerden hemen kalkman gerek. Adım at ki gerçekleşsin her dilek. Bekliyor seni parlak bir gelecek. Sen ona gittikçe o sana gelecek. Justenglish'le şimdi sen de dile gel. Justenglish'le şimdi sen de dile gel. Justenglish'le şimdi sen de dile gel. Justenglish'le şimdi sen de dile gel.
world full of joy and smile, a world where everyone only by satisfaction and learn to survive in the outside world. Distinguish style. Learn, play, sing and dance. Do what you don't see anywhere else. Learn, play, sing and dance. Do what do, distinguish style.
Hayat devam ettikçe bitmez bu yarış. Sen de bir dil öğren, macerayla tanış. Hayat devam ettikçe bitmez bu yarış. Sen de bir dil öğren, bu dünyaya karış. Justinglishle şimdi sen de dile gel. Justinglishle şimdi sen de dile gel. Justinglishle şimdi sen de dile gel. Justinglishle şimdi sen de dile gel.
Knife.
Knife. Enthusiastic.
Enthusiastic.
Pronunciation.
Enthusiastic.
And enthusiasm. Enthusiastic.
Reci bilmiyorum.
Recipe.
Recipe. Recipe.
Bir daha.
Recipe.
Clark.
Clark.
Clark. Pronunciation.
Justinglishle şimdi sen de dile gel. Olduğun yerden hemen kalkman gerek. Adım at ki gerçekleşsin her dilek. Bekliyor seni parlak bir gelecek. Sen ona gittikçe o sana gelecek. Justinglishle şimdi sen de dile gel. Justinglishle şimdi sen de dile. Justinglishle şimdi sen de dile gel. Justinglishle şimdi sen de dile gel.
A world with a joy and smile, a world where everyone will live by satisfaction and learn to survive in the outside world. Justinglish style. Learn, play, sing and dance. Do what you don't see anywhere else. Learn, play, sing and dance. Do but do Justinglish style.
Hayat devam ettikçe bitmez bu yarış. Sen de bir dil öğren, macerayla tanış. Hayat devam ettikçe bitmez bu yarış. Sen de bir dil öğren, bu dünyaya karış. Justinglishle şimdi sen de dile gel. Justinglishle şimdi sen de dile gel. Justinglishle şimdi sen de dile gel. Justinglishle şimdi sen de dile gel.
Knife.
Knife. Enthusiastic.
Enthusiastic.
Pronunciation.
Enthusiastic.
And enthusiasm. Etüstik.
Reci bilmiyorum.
Recipe.
Recipe. Recipe.
Bir daha.
Recipe.
Clark.
Clark.
Clark. Pronunciation.
Şimdi sen de dile gel.
Okay, and I think we're back. I'm just gonna wait for confirmation. I've got my computer working again, I think. There was a problem with the charge. My face hasn't appeared yet, and there we are. Whoa, it's dark. Why is it dark? Where is everything? Maybe if I leave here. Where's the screen gone? Discard. There we go. Okay, so we're back. That was a bit scary from current slide. Okay, so, wow, nearly had a panic attack. So if we just go back to pointer options, there we go, got my laser back. Okay, we're good to go. So as we saw before the break, we needed theorize, and as a lot of you said, yep, we need a verb there, totally 100%. I'm going to open up YouTube on my telephone as well, because I found it, I think, maybe a little bit easier than using my computer continuously. I'll just use computer for head check. And I'll go back to Justenglish TO. And there we have it, upper intermediate vocabulary roots. There we go. Excellent. And we're back online. Okay, so if you're still there, hoş geldiniz hocam. Thank you very much, Kerem. It's very kind for you. Hoş bulduk. Sort of, you know, as much can be with technology for me, you know, it just stresses me out continuously. So, as we saw before, we needed a verb here. And theoretician, this is a noun form for people. And then we had the adjective theoretic, which is nowadays we usually say theoretical. You know, this is a little bit outdated now. So let's go to the next one. If you're back online, sound and intro very good. You're very welcome. Well, no, sorry, thank you, Mr. Mehmet. Okay, so the next one. It is something that they live so close to school. So we have inconvenience, and the suffix here is nt. Then we have convenient, and the suffix here is nt, convenient. And then we have the suffix, we've got two suffixes here actually. We've got conveniently. So A, C, B, C, B, B, B. Kerem's answering a lot again. Yeah, the correct answer is actually B. It is convenient. If you remember from the previous one, if I can get the pen back up. Pointer options and the pen. You know, we've got that subject. Here we have that verb. So we need something here. Then we've got that connector again here. Then we have that subject. Let's make sure we've got a verb. Yep, there's our verb. It's so close. Then we've got a quantifier. And then we have so close to school. This would be what we call a complement. It's not really important at the moment. So we've got two types of adjectives. We've got those that come after the verb to be. And we have those that come before nouns. Fat, for example. I am fat. There we have used it after the verb am I am fat. But we also use fat before nouns. He is fat. And here, that's this type of adjective here. Let's go to the next one. So here, we'll quickly go down to my pointers. Here, the patient responded something to the medication. So in A, we have weak, weaken. The suffix is here, un. We have weakness. Of course, we've got that pronunciation, us again, which is here. Then we have weakly, here, li being the suffix. So which one? A, B, or C? A. Kerem says A. What the rest of Miss Gulcan says B. Responded weakness. Dilan, she's not so sure about C. Pelin says C. So it's about 50. Mehmet says C. Kerem Ali Bayar says A. Erdogan, welcome Erdogan. Welcome to the class. Erdogan says B. Well, let's have a look at the structure of the sentence. Let's see if I can maybe give you some clues. We've got the noun here, which is in the subject position. Here we have the verb, responded, and then we've got this prepositional phrase here. So we need something which is going to relate to the verb. Weaken, en, that's for verbs. Ness, we know for noun things. And then we've got li, which is an adverb. Whoops, there we go, which is an adverb. An adverb, sorry. So actually, we don't use adjectives to talk about verbs. We don't use verbs to talk about verbs. We already have a verb, to weaken. Responded is our verb anyway. Then we have weakness. Well, ness is a noun. So we've got verb and noun, but then we have this prepositional phrase. That doesn't work. What we need, the best one here, would actually be weakly to the medication. Let's go to the next one. Very good, girls. Muharrem, very good. Excellent. Kerem, yep. So let's go to the next one. The psychologist explained his ideas on something interaction. So we've got A, social, B, society, and then we have C, socialize. We've got that schwa sound, social, got that schwa sound again that we discussed earlier. So this is our suffix here, ul, then we have T, and then we have eyes. B, okay. Erdogan says A. Miss Gulcan says B. Nursena says B. Jafer says A. I think the boys have it this time. Mehmet says B. Well, let's have a look at the structure. We've got the psychologist, we've got the subject, we have the verb, we have his ideas, the psychologist's ideas, which is the subject. And then we have this noun form here. We need something before the noun. Eyes, we know, is a verb. On is a preposition. And actually, I'm going to quickly open up something here. I did learn something new with this earlier. Present to view, screen, show taskbar, and here we go. We'll quickly go here. So with prepositions, a useful tip. If I can just quickly make this larger as well so everybody can see it with ease. And we'll go, I think number 18 is a good number. There we go. Prepositions, maybe a little bit larger because I can barely see it. There you go. Prepositions, in terms of structure, in terms of sentence structure, prepositions are followed by one of three things. Now I'm going to quickly put here. They're followed by nouns, as we'll see shortly. And the noun has to be an object form, not a subject form. It has to be an object. Prepositions are never followed by subjects. So it has to be an object, or it can be a gerund. Again, the gerund has to be an object position. We can't use subject gerunds. And the last one is a pronoun. And again, the pronoun has to be in the object position. I'll write an example actually below so you get a better better idea. And we'll go down here. So if we look at the adjective afraid as an example. Now with afraid we use a preposition. Can anybody tell me the preposition we use with afraid? Preposition edat. The preposition is of. So if we put that into a sentence, I am afraid of, and then we have this empty space here for want of a better word. So we can't say I'm afraid of he, for example. That would be wrong. But we can say I'm afraid of him, because him here is an object pronoun. It's an object pronoun. He's not possible because he is a subject pronoun. Instead of him, we could say I am afraid of Joseph. You should be afraid of me. You should be very afraid. Again, here we're using a noun form, but the noun is an object noun. How do we know? Well, if we get rid... Allah, can't even spell my own name. So if we look down here, I'm afraid of him is our object pronoun, and instead of him we can say I'm afraid of Joseph. If we move down here and we use a gerund form, I am afraid of... What am I afraid of? I'm not really afraid of anything. Dying, that's a classic. Everyone's afraid of dying, Joseph, maybe. I'm afraid of dying. And here, we're using a gerund form. Object gerund. Sorry, I'll quickly eliminate that. Object. I'm really no good at computers, I've discovered. It's an object gerund. So how does that relate to this? If we can make this screen a little bit smaller. There we go. Now bring it down here. Here we've got that preposition. That preposition is actually related to this noun here. So we need something which is going to relate to that. And most of you have already guessed. The correct one is actually social, because social here is an adjective. How do we know it's an adjective? Well, we know it's an adjective from this part here. Let's have a look at another one. So not everyone wants a job as a. We have A, mortal. We have B, mortally. Again, mortally. And then we have mortician. Dunden. Of. Okay, in terms of meaning. Yeah, probably. I don't know. My Turkish is terrible. So Erdogan says C. Onur says C too. Very quick responses. What do the rest of you say? Any ideas? Jaffer says C too, and yep, I think we all agree. Mortician. But why C? Come on, Kerem. Come on, Jaffer. Why C? Why is C the correct option? What's the logic? What's the reason? Well, C is the correct answer, but why? It's a noun person, very good. And as we see up here, they want a job as a. We know we're looking for a job. So for jobs, we have musician as an example. We can also use ER or OR, such as teacher, but we also have politician as well, which shows what people do. Well done, boys and girls. So here is in the next example, we have you should not something the problem. Minimal, A. B, minimize, or C, minimal. Oh, sorry, minimally. Minimally. That's a mouthful, isn't it? Onur says B. Eren says B as well. Welcome, Eren. You're late to the lesson. I'm awesome. Why B? Can anybody tell me the reason? Eren, why have we chosen B as the correct answer? Because we need a verb, Erdogan. Very good, Eren. Erdogan beat you to it. We need a verb. And here we have the suffix for an adjective. Here we have the suffix for an adverb. And here we need a verb. We've got should, which is basically it's a modal verb. But it's a helping modal verb, which means it requires a base form and minimize to make something smaller. If we go to the next one, because of a traffic, he had to appear in court. So we have violate, violator, and violation. Violate, violator, violation. GS says B, violator. Eren says C, violation. Onur and Erdoğan also say the same. Let's have a look. Yeah, there you go. The correct answer is C. So why is A not correct? Well, here, okay, we have a noun, but we have because of a traffic. Traffic is an adjective. So we know after adjectives we need to have a noun here. Violator would actually describe a job because he was a violator, maybe. He had to appear in court, but that would be stupid. The next one. The children ran toward the entrance of the park. So we have excitedly, the suffix here is li. We have excited, the suffix here is id. We use for verbs. And here we have excitement, used for nouns. So which one's correct? A, B, or C? Dilan, welcome back. Dilan says C. Jafer says C. Jafer says A, actually. GS says B. A. So I can't read out all your names. You've all gone crazy. There we go. Everyone's answered the same back. Welcome back, everybody. Nice to see you back. The correct answer is, in fact, A. And we know this because it's an adverbial. It's actually describing this verb here. The children ran. How did they run? They ran excitedly. They walked slowly. Excited here would be a past participle of the verb excite, and excitement would be a noun form as well. So let's look at the next example. The company was unable. Quick pronunciation here. It's not unable. Here we're using the prefix un. Able is a word by itself. So the company was unable to something, enough profit to stay in business. Is it A, generator, B, generate, or C, generation? So Eren says B, generate. Can we have a reason, please, Eren? Any ideas as to why? Okay, anybody? Can anybody tell me why? Got the correct answer. Well, okay, well, there you go, Eren. Well done. We need to have a verb, unable to do something. We need a verbal form. Generator is a noun, used for things here, machinery, something which generates energy. Then we have generation, which is also a noun form. Very good. Let's go to the next one. She picked up a piece of rock. Volcano, vulcanize, or volcanic. Very good. Yeah, we need a verb, Aynur. 100%. 100%. So what about this one then? A, volcano, B, vulcanize, or C, volcanic? C. And can you tell me why? Very quickly. What do we need? What is this suffix used for? I hope you're not using your telephones at home to cheat, actually. Yeah, well done. We need to have an adjective there. She picked up a piece of volcanic rock. We have this noun form. You're doing very, very well. It's going to get a little bit difficult very soon, hopefully, if we finish this in time. So he responded something to the rude question. We have A, explosively. We have B, explosion. And we have C, explosive. I think, Pelin, are you saying B for this one? Okay, we got A for Miss Gulcan. Why is that, Miss Gulcan? For what reason? For what purpose? Very good, Onur. Okay, well, it's actually, we need to have an adverbial here. You can still write the answers to the question. We need to have an adverbial here. Actually, Jaffer, well done, Jaffer. We need to have an adverb. Here, explosion is a noun, and explosive is actually an adjective. Whew. Next one. Because your medical problem is serious, you need to see a specialize, special, or specialist. A, B, or C. Which one? I'm going to have a quick look at your chats quite comfortably. Eren says A. Eren says C. Gulcan says B. Aisha says C. Aynur says C. And then we have Ramazan Özbektaş says B. And, well, we need a noun, don't we? A specialist, someone who does something. Special here would be an adjective. And then we have, of course, eyes, which is the suffix for verb forms. So what about the next one then? The coach wasn't able to the athletes perform better. Motivate, motivator, or motivation. A, B, or C. Eren says A. Onur says A. Write the reason as well. Write the reason in parentheses. Don't just say A, B, or C. Go A because we need, or B because we need, or C because we need. Well, the correct answer is A, of course. And the reason is, I'm sure someone's going to write the response up very soon. Very good. Excellent, everybody. Yep, we need a verb, Eren. Very good. We need a verb form. Okay, and the next one. He was concerned about the of his actions. Careless, B, carelessness, or C, carelessly. Very good, Aynur. Yep, Mr. Umit, that's correct. But what about this one here? A, careless, B, carelessness, or C, carelessly. Okay, Gonja. Hey, welcome back, Gonja. Nice to see you. See you back in the lesson. Eren says B, Gonja says B, Onur says B. And the answer is yes, of course, it's B. Of course, you know, we look at careless. It's an adjective form. And we don't really have a noun form or an auxiliary verb, amizar, was, were, here. So we can't use that. Carelessly. Oh, carelessly. That's a mistake. Of course I'm having problems reading that. I didn't see that. I've checked this like 20 times today. Didn't see that mistake. Wow. Carelessly, we can get rid of that L there. The correct answer is going to be B, of course, because we need a noun form. And if you remember from the beginning of the practice, we had this of structure, of, and here we have a noun. The chances are you're going to need a noun here as well. Be careful of that structure. It's a big clue. And, you know, often we use it with this article, the. So what about the next one then? This portion of the report should be completed, of the other part. Independence, A. B, independent, or C, independently. What do you think? Okay, having a quick look at your chats. See, we need an adjective. Ooh, Mr. Eren, you're 50% correct. It's not an adjective. What is it? It's not an adjective. What do we need? Yeah, you should be sorry. Be very sorry. Yep, you're sorry one time's enough. B, because... Not a no. I think we need the adverb. There you go. Very good. We need an adverb, not an adjective. Adjectives describe nouns. We need the adverbial here. Zarf in Turkish, I believe. So let's move on to the next one. The view of the mountains was So we have magnify with that suffix e-fi. Then we have magnificent, magnificent. And then we have magnification, magnification. Got that sound here again as well. So A, B, Erin says B. Don't forget, include your reasons. Don't just give me the answer. Go A, because noun, because verb, or C, because it's a noun. Tell me why. Don't rush, Mr. Erin. Never rush for anything. Because we need a verb. Really? Do we need a verb there? We already have was. And we need something here which is going to describe, what's it talking about? It's talking about the view. I know this looks like a plural form, but here we're actually, the view was something. So we know here we need to have, Gonca Aktaş, well done, yes. We need an adjective. Ify is the verb form, and we already have a verb. Let's imagine that we have a verb here. It is possible, but it would be was verb ing, was going. Or maybe in a passive sentence, was destroyed. But was by itself in the past simple is already a verb. We don't often need anything following it, except for maybe adjectives or nouns or other forms. So it was necessary for the speaker to her message. Answer and reason. Let's save a little bit of time here. Answer and reason. Why do we need what we need for that one? Yeah, very good. It's an auxiliary verb. Yes, that's correct, Aynur. But auxiliary verbs are verbs, at the end of the day. And when we don't have main verbs, like walk and talk, then we need to use an auxiliary verb, because auxiliary verbs help the subject and object to connect. So it could be an adjective. It is hot. It could be a noun form. I am Joseph. It could be, I don't know. It could be a number of forms. Gonca says a verb. Sorry, a? Yeah, very good, Gonca. To clarify. Okay. And as Gonca says, yeah, we do need to have a verb here, to do something. It was necessary. Adjectives. Actually, this is, I can put this down in a note because that's important too. Screen, show taskbar, and we'll go down here. We'll put that up here in the notes. In terms of structure, sentence structure, we'll just little notes on sentence structure down here that I think are useful. Structure, there we go. So another one, we know that prepositions have to be followed by objects, and they have to be followed by object noun or object pronoun or object gerund. With adjectives, if we want to use a verb form here, then we use the infinitive. The infinitive form. And the infinitive form actually is, I'll put that up here. I'll give you an example actually below about panicking. I always panic when I have to do something different. I am pleased. There we go. We've got that adjective form here. We'll make that one color. Make that red. And then after that, I am pleased to meet you. And that's, whoops, there we go. We'll make this a different color as well. We'll make that green, Irish green. I'm pleased to meet you. We'll just leave that as it is. That's got nothing to do with what we're doing. But I have to, sorry. So I'm pleased to meet you. We could also say, I'm afraid to inform you. Again, we have that infinitive form of the verb here. I'm afraid, we have the adjective, and then we have that verbal form there. So a little tip on structure. We'll go back here. And it was necessary for the speaker, necessary to do something. That's our adjective here. This for is actually talking about the speaker. It was necessary for him. It's in the object position as well. So we know that the actual adjective and the preposition meet over here. That's object preposition. That's verbal infinitive used with this. Okay, so the next one. We have the something of the village was the soldier's primary goal. The something of the village was the soldier's primary goal. Is it A, liberate? Is it B, liberation? Or is it C, liberal? Again, that's got that sound. Liberal, not liberal, liberal. I think Pelin says A. Oh, that was 5 minutes ago. So what do we have here? A, B, or C? Gencer says C. GS says C. Onur says B. And Eren, very good. Answer and explanation. I think Eren's the winner here, quite basically. We need B and we need to use a noun. 100% Eren. Well done. So if we look at liberate, we know that this is a verb form and we don't use articles with verb form, so we know that's not correct. Liberal is an adjective. Again, if we look at this structure, what structure do we have? Noun of noun. Again, starting with the. That's 3 times we've seen this structure now. So in these types of structures, when you're writing, if you want to say of the something, the chances are you're going to need to use a noun form here. He gave an incorrect answer to the question. Is it A, obvious? Is it B, obviously? Or is it C, obviate? Obvious, obviously, or obviate? I think Beren, welcome to the class, Beren, is B, very good. We got Jaffer, reckons maybe A. Oh, he's deleted, he's retracted his message. Vazgeçti herhalde. Bir daha düşünüyor, hadi bakalım. Yep, B. Thank you for participating twice. And there you go, Eren. B, we need an adverb. 100% correct answer. Us is a suffix used for adjectives. So it is obvious. Obviate is a verb form. We know from this ace. To obviate means to remove, to take away. Maybe take away the need of something. To obviate the need. To take away the need of something. So that was practice set 2. We've got 15 minutes left. It's amazing. We've got plenty of time. So let's go to practice set 3. We're going to do something slightly different this time. We're not going to do the same thing. Instead of giving you options A, B, C, and D, I'm going to give you a sentence just like this. And 3 parts of this sentence are underlined. In this example, we have inspect, organized, and intensive. What I want you to do is to tell me which part is incorrect. Is this incorrect, or is this incorrect, or is this incorrect? I'll give you a couple of seconds to think about that. I'm going to look at the because it's very active, the chat. If I don't look just for 1 second, boom, messages. Should be answering sometime soon. I told you, it was going to get difficult. The police inspect, organized an intensive search for the robber. Don't worry about the meaning of the sentence. Focus on the word parts. Focus on the suffixes. Think about the structure. Do we need a verb? Do we need an adverb? Do we need an adjective? Difficult? Yeah. Well, I'll do the first one for you, because no one's answering. A Mujaffer? What do you mean A? Do you mean this one here, inspect? Just write the word for me. It'd be easier for me to understand. He's retracted his message again. Yeah, the correct answer is actually A. Not A. Now you've got me doing it. The incorrect word is inspect. And yes, Gonja, very good. And I think we had someone else there as well. we need to have that noun form. The correct form would be inspector, the police inspector. Actually, you did very, very well, Gonja. Organized is actually correct. We have that subject here, the police inspector, and then we have the verb, organized. The suffix we have is ed, which shows us that this is in the past. It's a past simple action. Let's look at the next one. The newspaper reporter did not exactly appreciate the negative comments about her article. One more time. The newspaper reporter did not exactly appreciate the negative comments about her article. So which part do you think's wrong now? Is it reporter, exact, or negative? No, thank you, Gonja. Beren, yep, very good. Exact. Give me the word first. Give me the word first, and then give me the correct answer. It should actually be exactly. Here we know we have actually the police inspector. Here we have another example, the newspaper reporter. We have our verb, so we know we have our subject, and what we need is our verbal form. Did not exactly appreciate. Now, exactly here is talking about the verb here. Okay, he became penniless and homeless when a serious ill made him unable to work. Which one now? Yeah, okay. Good. You're all doing very, very well. A little bit more tricky. Which one? I'll read it one more time. He became penniless and homeless when a serious ill made him unable to work. Everything sounds correct when I say it. Oh, nice go, Beren. No, not serious. Oh, wait a minute. Not seriously, no. That's not correct. Oh, Gonja's there again. Bump. Yeah, ill. Ill as an adjective. Actually, I'll give you another quick note here with ill. You know. So we've got these two adjectives, ill and sick. And they are easily confused. And they're often used incorrectly. They're often used incorrectly by native speakers too. Now, ill, actually, I am ill, is the correct use. Ill we use after the verb to be. Am is our was, were, or will be. I am ill. We use it after the auxiliary. Can't see anything. It's used after the auxiliary verb. So if we say like I am sick, hastayım bir anlamda, that's actually incorrect. That's the incorrect use of that word. I know you hear it on TV. It's very much like, I don't know, that Turkish example, kahvaltı yapmak. You know, it's incorrect, but everybody says yapmak, kahvaltı yapmak. It should be kahvaltı etmek. And this is very similar. It's a mistake that even native speakers make when they're talking. Sick instead is used, or should be used. It should be used before a noun. Let's get rid of that. It should be used before a noun. For example, he is a very sick man. And now we have that noun form. That would actually be the correct usage of that. If we took that away and said he is a very ill man, well, I suppose that makes a little bit of sense. You know, but as I said, even with sick man, that would be the correct one. So I am ill. Often, you know, I am sick. If the problem with, okay, in present simple, it doesn't cause a big problem. We can understand. Native speakers understand each other when they make the same mistake anyway, because it's a common mistake. But, you know, it does become a little bit problematic when we go, I was sick yesterday. It doesn't really have that same sort of meaning, hastaydım. You know, here sick means, it's actually the verb form. Meaning, şey kusmak, you know, when you eat too much and you've got a very full belly and you're not feeling too well, you know, I was sick, sort of has that meaning. So that's why this is actually incorrect. Let's close that back down. We'll get back up here. So I think we already had that, illness. Very good. Let's move to the next one. Maya Angelou is a poem, composer, and author of 2 autobiographical works, I Know Why the Cage Bird Sings, and My Name. I'll read it one more time. Maya Angelou is a poem, composer, and author of 2 autobiographical works, I Know Why the Cage Bird Sings, and My Name. Thank you, Mr. Satan. You too. Yeah, poetry, not poetry. Whoa, slowly. Yeah, the correct answer, it should actually be poets. That's good. I'll go back down to the notes, actually. We'll go back down to taskbar, and we'll put a quick note in here. We have poem, the thing which, is written. Then we have poet, the person who writes the poem. And then we have poetry. They're easily confused, these ones. I think it comes from Greek, so they're irregular. And then we have poetry, which is the general noun for poem. So if I give you an example, I like to read poetry, which just happens to be true. Not that I understand poetry, but I do like to read it. Özdemir, it's one of my favorites. Asaf. So let's go back to our presentation. The process of Americanization encourages immigrants to assimilate attitudes, culture, and citizenship. Which one? Americanization, encouragements, assimilate, culture, or citizenship? Which one do you think is correct? Which one do you think is incorrect? Because most of them are correct. Very quickly. Come on. I'm going to put the answer up. I'll put the answer up anyway. The incorrect one is, of course, encouragements. And I'll give a little explanation as to why that is. The process of, well, we know that this is a noun form. We have American, not American, American. Then we have eyes, which is the verb form. And if we want to make this eyes a noun form, we use shun. So we have Americanization, the process of making something American. It is very difficult. I know it's very difficult. I told you, Miss Barron, it's going to get difficult. Without S, not without S, no. Assimilate, we have the infinitive, to assimilate. It has to be a verb form. Well, here it would actually be encourages. And to encourage is a verb form, but age, if you remember from earlier, we use for adjectives. And as I said last week in last week's lesson, there's always going to be exceptions to the rule. But, you know, all we need to do, we've got munt. If we take munt away, we have to encourage. There's not many examples like this. You're doing very well. A slightly easier example. During the previous war, the national defense established found itself in great need of linguists. What's the answer now? During the previous war, the national defense established found itself in great need of linguists. I'll give you the answer because I'm sure you're going to be answering very shortly. Eren, you've gone very quiet. When was the last time you answered? Well, the incorrect choice would be establish. Of course, national defense, the national defense. Here we know we need to use a noun. Do you remember the noun form of establish from last week? The noun form was establishment. Let's go to another example. Ooh, got one more. We'll do one more and then we'll go. Establishment. Very good, Beren. There you go. Gonja, well done. Ismail. Welcome, Ismail. So what about this one then? The escalate of hostilities. You should know the answer to this one. We've done it 3 times already. Between the two nations has proven far more serious than analysts had previously expected. Which one? That's very good. Where are you? Escalation. Very good, Gonja. Very good, Eren. Very, very good, yeah. And of course, we need to use that noun form, escalation. And if you look, we have that structure again, of. And we have a noun form here, hostilities. It's the plural, hostilities between the two nations. If we have this here, then here we need to have a noun form. So the correct answer would be, of course, escalation. Okay, that's enough for today. I'm going to try and turn this off, if I can. I think start, end. Thank you for joining me, if you joined me today. We have next week, it's going to be a very, very difficult lesson next week. Incredibly difficult. If you're going to come, please come on time. We're going to be continuing with what we have been doing, but next week we're going to pull it all together. We're going to be looking at some really difficult vocabulary and trying to understand those vocabulary parts, those vocabulary words from their particular parts. So have a nice weekend, and I'll see you next week. And I'm going to try and learn how to turn this off. I think if I just do Control 9. I'm still here anyway. I'll just read some stuff. Maybe we can do another one. Oh, good.